So once upon a time, a long time ago, the guys figured out something really, really cool. You can make computers do really neat things. And they figured out how to make them make video games. And man, video games were awesome. But the girls thought they were fucking stupid. And you were a nerd if you played games. And some of us nerds didn't fucking care. And we play our fucking games because we didn't give a shit about pussy. Because it was not as rewarding as playing games. But that is when we were children. And now that we are men, we put away our games for pussy. But anyways, going on. Then, years went by and years went by, and girls started to figure out the games were actually pretty fucking cool, right? So then they needed to have their piece of the action. And it wasn't good enough for them to fucking play. They needed to demand respect and all this, that, and the other thing. And they wanted to use our terms and have them applied to them. And they wanted to be called gamers. And a lot of people were pissed about that. And I don't really understand why. But, like, you know, it was angering to some people that girls were calling themselves gamers. They were playing all the same games you did, but they were girls, so fuck it, this is the boys' club and we all hate women. I don't know, whatever. But then that kind of ebbed and flowed and moved on, and then it started to get into, well, I play Candy Crush, so I'm a gamer, and it's like, Candy Crush? You played Candy Crush on your phone? How often? You know what I mean? Like, and then it was all sorts of qualifying questions. Well, how often do you play it? What level are you on? You know, things of that. Everybody has to prove themselves one way or another. But I always had a more philosophical outlook on video games. I don't know. They spoke to me in a different language. They made me passionate in ways that I didn't understand I could be passionate. And they made me feel emotions and feelings that I never understood that I could feel. And didn't understand until I felt them. And they helped me to learn, and they helped me to grow as a person, and they gave me great dexterity and reflex and hand-eye coordination out the ass. And they taught me to think. They taught me to think logically and to think outside the box. And it's an art to me. And I know everybody likes to roll their eyes and go, but it's an art to me. And I think that it should be considered an art to everybody else. Because it is an art form when it comes down to it. Even the playing of games is an art form. There's skill involved. You ever watch somebody play fucking Dragon Force on expert level on goddamn fucking Rock Band? That takes skill, man. Like, that's not easy. Nobody can just pick that shit up and do it. That takes practice. It takes a lot of skill. And you're honing your craft, but it's a performance. Even if you're performing for yourself, it's still a performance. And you feel good when you've accomplished something. And I think that's what art is like. I've done art, and I brought up the art channel recently, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about this subject because I wanted to do a video about the videos that I'm going to show, but I couldn't think of a really good angle. And then I kind of came into this way of thinking about it, and it really is an art. I mean, watch this real quick.
Final round. Fight.
That's my robot bitch, dude. Yeah, whatever.
That's fucking art. It takes skill to do that. That isn't luck. I'm not button mashing. That takes skill, technique, timing. These are all things. And when it's done, when you see the finished product of hard work, you can look at it and go, man, that's fucking smooth. But, you know, I consider myself to be maybe a journeyman, but there are masters of the craft, and I've gotten into watching speed gaming now. Speedruns are fun as fuck to watch. You should check out Gaming Done Quick. It's a real fun channel. they've got some cool videos up there. And these guys get together and they raise money for charity, which is awesome. I think it all goes to Doctors Without Borders, pretty much. That's all I ever see. And they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for people to just play a video game really fucking fast. And it's amazing to watch. It's mesmerizing. It's so weird having played these games in the past and to watch them zip through it. And it's like, motherfucker. Like, but the cool thing is that it's interactive. They talk, well, it's not really interactive, but it's an audience part. It's not interactive, no audience participation. They talk about, they describe what they're doing while they're playing the game, which is kind of cool. And they have like a couch with people that sit on it that also do speed running, so they kind of know the tricks and they can better explain it for parts where the guy has to concentrate on what he's doing. And some guys are really cool, man. Some guys are really cool to watch because they're really, like, they know their fucking shit. It's like watching it would be like watching a surgeon perform delicate surgery and just, he's talking to you about what he's doing while he's fucking doing it. It's amazing to watch. So I highly recommend going there and checking that shit out. But here's a little taste of what it's like. It's so interesting.
Okay, so now Goma's gonna die, Link's gonna die, and it's gonna send me back to the beginning of the tree. And then I have to make my way back into the boss room again. And the reason I'm even going here in the first place is because of the blue warp that spawns after Goma dies. That is the key to beating this game ridiculously fast. And keep in mind, this method, like I was saying, this took years and years, over 10 years, like 13 years to discover how to do. So, you never know what you'd find in games if you put enough time into them. So now to get down, I'm doing this thing called the Mega Side Hop. It's a one-frame side hop thing. You recoil and you keep a bunch of speed. That was... okay, yeah, I could have gone a little bit faster right there. I jump slashed too early, but like that was still pretty fast. So as you can see, like the deck tree, it's pretty technical. It's like you wouldn't expect that out of a Zelda title, especially a 3D Zelda title, to be fast-paced like that. But this is where the true magic's gonna happen. And right here, I'm gonna re-catch the bugs in my bottle. And I'm doing that so I can do a glitch called Ocarina Items, which lets me like play a fake ocarina with one of my items. And I'm also going to be in a specific position. Okay.
Now that probably looked like just a bunch of fucking jumping around to you, but they have like these things they call strats, which are strategies, and these little techniques and these little things that they do, and they all have cool little names. And sometimes, if you're the guy that figures it out, you can get the fucking strategy or technique or whatever named after you. Like, that's fucking cool, you know what I mean? Like, that's immortality right there, you know what I mean? Because this shit gets passed down, it's tribes, so it gets passed down by word of mouth for fucking ever, and it's on the internet, so it's immortality, man, in this niche, but still, that's fucking cool. I don't know, man, this shit's getting me thinking about trying to fucking learn a game really well.
Okay. Okay, and then right here, target, turn. Okay, so what that did was it took me.
And the crowd goes fucking crazy. That's another thing that happens a lot when and there's some of them where they're like huge theaters where they're playing these games, and like they'll do something that to anybody who's never played the game before, they're like, huh. But to people that know the games well and play the games, they're like, oh fuck, and like applause breaks out. It's crazy. I watched a dude get every star in Super Mario 64 in like under 2 hours. It was like an hour and 40 minutes or some shit like that. He got all 120 stars and then killed Bowser. And every time he'd get a star, every time, everybody'd fucking clap. It was crazy. But like, sometimes the guys on the couch, like, they're always competing with each other, because there's world records and shit for this. So like, they're always competing with each other, so it's fun to look for the guys that have the world record, because the guys on the couch, they're all their competition. So they'll be like, oh, you didn't use that strat, and like, they'll talk shit about it. And like, some of them, they get really pissed. Oh, it's some of the funnest fucking YouTube I've ever watched in my life. I swear to God.
So Ganondorf's dead now. we bypassed needing the light arrows and all that. And I guess I should explain this now. So the way this works is...
Alright, pay attention, because there's going to be a test later on.
There's these blue warps, right? What they do is they send you to a certain location, and they also set if there's going to be a cutscene happening or not. And basically what happened was you're supposed to step into them, and then you lose control of Link. It plays the cutscene, it takes Link up, then it sets the value that there's going to be a cutscene, and the warp takes you to the correct location. In this case, it should have taken me to Kokiri Forest and played the cutscene of the Deku Tree giving me the Kokiri's Emerald. Instead, what happened was I did that glitch called Ocarina Items, and the way that works is, for whatever reason, after you have bugs in your hand and you're in the air, if you press the button for the bug, and then you press another button, Link will, like, play the item that you pressed second like it's an ocarina. It doesn't make any sense, really. But that glitch is crucial because it lets you maintain control of Link after the warp tries to take you away. And what's happening is, like, I got on that pillar in the room and, like, got on a specific part of the pillar and did a certain, like, movement pattern so that when I backflipped, the frame Link's feet hit the ground, which would trigger Ocarina Items, is also the same frame that triggers the blue warp carrying me up. So what happens is I'm in the warp as it's activating with Ocarina Items, and that's important because there's a B button that says cancel. So so the way it works is I wait until a certain part of that little cutscene, and then I cancel it. And as I cancel it, the blue warp starts counting up from 0. There's an internal timer in the game. It counts from 0 up to 101. Every frame it ticks up 1. So after 101 frames, it would take me to the cutscene because the animation's over. But what happens is I, like, move in a certain way through the room so that I get the blue warp off the camera at a certain time. And when the blue warp's far enough off the camera, the N64 tries to, like, conserve memory. So the warp itself is, like, no longer an object that's considered important enough to be loaded because of its position, like, on the camera. And when that happens, that timer that's counting up to 101 just freezes. And at that point, hold on here. I gotta kill these guys. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm actually low on health here. I gotta watch out. Okay, that was a little more scary than it needed to be.
The Deku stick does more damage with his little sword.
Yeah, so it's basically that timer. It pauses when I'm in a certain part of the room, and I know what the number is at. Well, I don't know the actual number, but I know it's at a certain number that I want. And then I can basically tell where I am in the hallway, like, based on where I walked. And when I do that, I can, like, turn the camera and load the warp for an instant, which will get it to tick up a couple more times as I do, like, the 180 camera switch. And that gets the warp to be the correct number, so that when I walk through the door, and I have to walk through the correct part of the door, but when I walk through the door, it counts up to the final numbers and hits 101 as its value. And on the exact frame that it hits 101, it loads the Deku Tree basement. And this is kind of how this whole wrong warping thing works, is because it knows it's supposed to load a cutscene, and it also needs to load the basement. And the way they did it, the way they handle cutscenes after you beat a dungeon, is that it adds a value to the location. So instead of Kokiri Forest, it's like Kokiri Forest plus 5, 5 being the cutscene it needs to play. And so what happened was, instead of loading Kokiri Forest plus 5, it loaded Deku Tree Basement plus that number. And there's no cutscene in the Deku Tree Basement. So when it adds 5 or whatever, it goes past the basement and hits the next area in the game. And it just so happens that the areas in the game, like internally, are all kind of in sort of a random order. And it just so happens that the basement of the Deku Tree afterwards is part of the tower collapse, which is past Ganondorf. So it put me in that room. And then when I left the room, it realized I was outside the tower, and because it was my first time ever outside the tower, it played the cutscene because it thought I just killed Ganondorf. So Ganondorf dies in front of you, Child Link, and you walk through the escape, and you get down to the bottom, and then here's the showdown with Ganon. And this is, it's faster than warping into the credits, which is possible, like I said earlier, but...
Did you catch all that? Alright, pop quiz. What's the number of the frame that you want it to be on to reach the end of the game? Pause it now and post your guess. But yeah, fucking it only took 13 years to figure that shit out.
It's hard to say if this run's ever going to be any faster. There is a crazy theoretical tool-assisted only method of going down the tower. You'd have to get the slingshot and then shoot the ladder down in the Deku Tree. And then when you wrong warp here, one of the iron bars are open because it preserves the dungeon's temporary flags when you wrong warp. So one of the bars would be open, but the problem is the only way to fall down far enough without the game detecting that you jumped off the tower is to get hit by a falling rock in midair. And you'd have to do that twice, and all the rocks are randomly generated. So there's no way for a human being to do that skip with the slingshot thing. But that would be like a theoretical, tool-assisted only way of doing this faster.
That's another thing. They make up tools where they can actually like slow the game down frame by frame to give that fast of a reaction to make them turn and shit. This isn't like the shit that people do. They do runs blindfolded, like that's the craziest shit that they do. But yeah, man, one guy plays with bananas as a controller. Some silly ass shit that these motherfuckers come up with, but it's fun to watch. And the most fun part of it is when these guys get their legendary status, where they're breaking world records. And when they do, they usually do what's called a pop-off, where they go fucking apeshit. And some of these are amazing. Observe.
An MRRL time. Me and Mark Rutsu. Me and fucking Mark Rutsu. That's fucking right. I skipped 113. I am a fucking legend.
Fucking legend.
I've never seen a 113 and I never fucking will. 112, baby. 112, to the day I fucking die. Yes! About time I get a fucking lucky break in this fucking game. Motherfuckers, and I clutch the goddamn grenade launcher. That's fucking right.
Fucking right.
Yeah, it's this one. Right here, it's this one. My insane pace.
Insane.
Right here, this is the 112. Right here, yes! This is fucking it. I'm gonna have to find the actual whole vid off of it, and I'm gonna have to get it.
Get it.
Dude, what a rush! What a rush! Watch this. Watch when I get the grenade launcher. Look at that. See how fast my pace is? Right in the fucking head! Yeah! Got a fucking 112, baby! That's right! You see that clutchness? I am fucking clutch! Clutchness. Look at this fucking line I take. I'm like, yeah, baby! Let's fucking do this! I wait. Right when he starts firing to try to back boost me, the double. Body armor. 2 quick ones. I already know I'm getting there on the perfect line. Look at the fucking pace! 50, 49, 47, baby! That's fucking right! That's fucking it! Fucking pumped watching this one again. I waited to cinema too because I said, oh my god, it might be 112. And it fucking is! It fucking is, baby! Yeah! Look at me typing, you guys. You guys didn't believe me. I'm typing a storm. Dude, I fucking just got Streets 112. That's not fucking fun. Yes! I fucking did it! That's right! I skipped 113. I'm a legend. I am a fucking legend. I'm a fucking legend. I am a fucking legend.
I don't know, man. That's some powerful ass shit. Like, it's like the Olympics. You know, you get that emotional feeling. I don't know. But when it all comes down to it, if you're a casual gamer, if you've been doing it all your life, if you're a fucking legend, it's all in your art, man. And it's all in how your art is perceived. And some people aren't going to think it's fucking art, but, you know, they're wrong. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's an art, and I think anybody who puts pen to paper or hand to clay can call themselves an artist. So I think anybody that plays any game can call themselves a gamer. I don't think we need to have this proving of ourselves and then all of this qualification of who we are. We are who we want to be, and we are who we put ourselves out to be towards the world. And that's just it.